Is my voice clear? Are you able to hear my voice clearly? Because it is raining here. Okay, thank you. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss on the topic of importance of Brahma Muhurta. So Brahma Muhurta is very important Muhurta in for all the spiritualists, right? Because that is the time when everybody begins their spiritual practices. Okay, so we'll see some of the importance of Brahma Muhurta and what we should do during Brahma Muhurta and what we do in our temple during the Brahma Muhurta time. Okay, so one Muhurta is equal to 48 minutes. That's called one Muhurta. So Brahma Muhurta is two Muhurtas, right? 48 and 48 is almost like 1.5 hours. So that much time in the morning before sunrise, that's called as Brahma Muhurta. If sunrise happens at 6 o'clock, then around 4:30 approximately, that's the time when the Brahma Muhurta begins, right? Like if you are somewhere in place like Kolkata and the sun rises there at very early, 5 o'clock. So then Brahma Muhurta starts quite early at 3:30. So it depends upon the sunrise time. Right? In every country, that Brahma Muhurta keeps shifting as per the time zone. So here in Bangalore, where I am, generally sun rises by 6:15 like that. So Brahma Muhurta is generally around 4:30. So that is standard calculation. So why is this time giving more such an importance? There is a reason for this. First reason is that this time is in the mode of Sattva Guna. As you know, there are three gunas: Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamo Guna. Sattva Guna is the guna where one is peaceful and happy. If somebody is in Sattva Guna, he is generally very peaceful, calm, and full of knowledge. And if somebody is in Rajoguna, he is constantly agitated and wants to do some passionate activities. So that is Rajoguna. You will see passionate people working very hard for earning money. They will do this, they will do that, they will do 10 things at the same time. So that is called Rajoguna. And there is something called as Tamoguna. Tamoguna is the quality where a person is lazy and he is crazy. Both are there. He is lazy and crazy. He is mad. Nidra alasya pramada. He wants to always sleep. He wants to. He is lazy. He doesn't have any work to do, and then he is mad. He is crazy. So this is the qualities of the three gunas, right? So based upon what habits he has cultivated, what kind of friends he has cultivated, accordingly he develops these gunas, right? So especially Sattuguna is very favorable for spiritual practices. Rajoguna is okay, one can do spiritual practice there, but little difficult. And Tamoguna is very difficult. One cannot do. Somebody is very lazy and he is always sleeping. He cannot practice spiritual life properly. But Sattuguna person is regulated. He does things on time. He doesn't have any bad habits. So for such a person, it's very easy to practice spiritual life. So when we analyze the times also, morning time is in Sattuguna, afternoon time is in Rajoguna, and night time is in Tamoguna. That's why you'll see that if you get up early in the morning, there is fresh air, oxygen level is high in the air, and there is no sound, less of pollution, and hardly anybody doing anything. It's so quiet. You can hear the birds chirping and beautiful, cool weather you can enjoy in the morning. So that's the Satoguna. We'll have high energy levels in the morning. And as day progresses, passion increases. In the afternoon time, generally, person wants to do hard work and want to achieve something. He's in the peak of performance, right? Physical performance, right? So that's called Rajaguna. And when night comes, like now it's 7 o'clock, we just wait for 2 hours. You see eyelids are closing, one is feeling tired, not to hit the bed because Tamoguna is coming. So different times have got different gunas. And morning time is in Sattuguna. That's why morning time is very, very, very favorable for spiritual activities. So one should do spiritual activities in the morning time. That's why all the yogis, all the pujas, they happen during Brahma Muhurta. You see many temples, they open during Brahma Muhurta only. You don't see any temple opening in the afternoon or evening, right? And also opposite is also true. Like some pubs and all, you don't see they opening in the morning at 5 o'clock. They start operation at night 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, isn't it? Okay, that's the time when tamasic people are active. Generally, Rakshasas become active in the night and Devatas are active in the daytime. So morning time is for Devatas. So that's why it's called Brahma Muhurta. And Brahma, the word Brahma also means spiritual. Aham Brahmasmi. So Brahma also refers to the spirit. So Brahma Muhurta is the time when we can do more spiritual activities. So that's why it is prescribed that one gets up early in the morning to do the spiritual activities. Right? And there is one shloka which says that those who get up early in the morning and they are awake during Brahma Muhurta, they get healthy body and their lifespan is long. And on the other hand, those who are sleeping during Brahma Muhurta, they will be sick. They will eventually get a diseased body because that time, morning time, is not for sleeping. That is for performing spiritual activities. So the gods become upset if they see somebody sleeping during Brahma Muhurta, and eventually he may get a diseased body or he may become a little obese, and such kind of things will happen by sleeping in Brahma Muhurta. But by being awake in Brahma Muhurta, one is healthy. And in childhood, we hear the famous statement, early to bed, early to rise makes one healthy, wealthy, and wise. And this statement was not made just like that. This was made with a lot of thought, right? A lot of basis and experimentation. Because when you sleep early and get up early, one generally becomes healthy. And if he has health, then he can earn wealth. If the body is not healthy, how can he earn wealth? It's not possible. So makes one healthy, wealthy, and wise also, because intelligence also is sharp. Generally, it's experimentally proven also that if you study something in the night and if you study the same thing in the morning studies we can grasp very quickly and you can memorize very quickly, right? I also personal experience that when I got up early in the morning and read Gita or Bhagavatam early in the morning, and many of the shlokas and concepts we are able to remember for a long time. But the same time, same thing you do in the afternoon after lunch or in the night before sleeping, that efficiency is not that much. You may read, but it doesn't stick to the mind. We immediately forget it, right? So doing things early in the morning is much better. That's another reason, right? So another thing is morning time is like a highway without any traffic, but daytime is like a road with heavy traffic. In the morning time, our mind has got no thoughts because we just slept and got up, we washed our face, and we have not done any other activities. So the mind is free. So we can use the mind for doing spiritual activities. Mind can grasp all the concepts like anything. And even when you chant in the morning, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then the absorbing capacity of the mind is very high. But the same thing if you do in the other time, then that absorbing capacity is not much because traffic is high. Like suppose in the morning you get up, then you go to office, then you go to college, then you meet so many people, you talk so many topics. So many thoughts are there, hundreds of thoughts and worries and anxieties are there. And in the night around 8 o'clock you come and sit for chanting Hare Krishna. How will be the experience? It will not be that effective. So better and best thing is to do the chanting or meditation activities early in the morning. And even that is the best time for doing yoga also. Right? So if you do early morning yoga, you can do pranayama and breathe fresh air. But in cities, sometimes I see people doing pranayama in the night, right? So it's not good because in the night already so much of pollution and carbon dioxide has been released and people absorb that, then it's not healthy, isn't it? So that's another reason why Brahma Muhurta is very effective. And it's the best time for spiritual activities. So I'm speaking all this from the notes which I just wrote down for my reference. Yeah. So these are notes. Maybe I can share it with you on the chat after the session. So this is basic revision. One Muhurta is 48 minutes and Brahma Muhurta lasts for 2 Muhurtas. For 48 into 2 minutes. Okay. So morning time is in Satoguna, afternoon time is Rajoguna, night time is in Tamoguna. So good health and long lifespan. Right? Early to bed, early to rise. Makes one healthy, wealthy, and wise. Right? We have read it and we have taught it also many people, but now it's the time to practice it. Right? I have been personally following this lifestyle for last 15, 16 years and tremendous change. We feel so much confident, less distractions, a lot of clarity of purpose. All this comes that because of doing things early in the morning. And one becomes deceased if one sleeps during Brahma Muhurta. Morning time is like a highway, less distractions. It's best time for spiritual activities. And morning prayers, it's best for remembering Guru and Krishna. So the last point I'll discuss now in detail, what to do in morning program. Now, if anybody has any questions regarding what I discussed till now, you can ask. If there are no questions, then I'll go to the morning program, morning prayer section. Yeah. Anybody has any questions? No questions? Okay. No, Sitaram says no questions. Okay. So now I will show you some prayers which we will learn today, which we generally chant during morning program. I'll share it with you on the screen. Okay, where is that? So in ISKCON, what we do is we get up early in the morning and we have Mangalarti around 4:30. And some temples do it at 5:30 also. It depends upon their convenience. Some temples do it 4:30, like Mayapur, Vrindavan, Pune. So they all do it on 4:30. And some temples in Bangalore they do it on at 5 o'clock. It depends upon the convenience of the temple. But surely everything starts during Brahma Muhurta. And in Brahma Muhurta, generally these prayers are chanted. Yeah. So this is called Guru Ashtakam. So the Dinacharya of a ISKCON devotee goes like this. He gets up in the morning by 3:30 or 4 o'clock, at least latest by 4 o'clock. Then he takes bath and then he goes to Arati. So the morning Arati, Mangalarti happens at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, depending on the temple. And then Now the first thing we do is we sing this prayer called Guru Ashtakam. Ashtakam means there are 8 songs, 8 paragraphs for the glorification of Guru. So this is called Guru Ashtakam. And this was written by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the 17th century. Right? And one who, with great attention and care, loudly recites this beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during Brahma Muhurta obtains direct service to Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavana, at the time of death. So this is the benediction given for reciting these prayers. So I'll not get into details of this prayer, but I'll read through this once, so you'll know the meaning of this song. संसारदावानललीढलोकत्रणाय कारुण्यघनाघनत्वं प्राप्तस्य कल्याणगुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. So every stanza ends with Vande Guru Shri Charanara. I offer my pranam to Guru. Why you are praying to Guru? Because Guru is very important in our life. Without Guru, we cannot get Krishna. Yasya prasadat bhagat prasado. When you please Guru, you can please Krishna. We cannot directly approach Krishna. That's why we cannot approach PM directly. If you want to meet the PM, then you have to go through some contacts. Then only you can get appointment. Right? So similarly, if you have to meet Krishna, then you have to go through spiritual master who is appointed by Krishna. Why it is required to go to a guru? That's very important to understand. So this first line, first statement tells that we need a guru. Why? Because we are all suffering. Samsara dava nalari dhaloka. So the world is compared to forest fire, right? Have anybody seen a forest fire? Where did the forest fire happen recently? There is a big forest fire. Yeah.
Australia, probably. In
Australia, correct. Such a fire that people are not able to put off, even with so much of effort. So, do you know how the fire comes in the forest? Is it that somebody puts it there, or how it comes? Any idea how the forest fire starts? Actually, nobody puts fire in the forest. But what happens is, when the wind blows, there are bamboo sticks. So the bamboos, they do friction against each other. When the wind is coming, at that time they do friction, and due to that friction, it gets heated up, and some sparks they come, and those sparks fall on the ground from the bamboo. And when it falls on the ground, the grass, the dry grass around that bamboo catches fire. And when the bamboo those grass catches fire, that grass which is burning burns the bamboo trees, and fire becomes blazing. Then the fire jumps to another tree, and then it jumps to another tree, to tree after tree after tree. And like this, the entire forest starts burning. So actually, nobody puts fire in the forest, but it comes on its own. Similarly, in this world, we don't want suffering, but still the suffering comes. So that's why this world is also called Davagni, Samsara Dava Nilalidha Loka. When the fire is there in the forest, all the animals and plants are in trouble. Similarly, we are also, because we are in this forest, we are also in trouble. There is a lot of suffering happening in this life. Now, if you want to extinguish a forest fire, what will you do? Suppose Australia forest fire is burning. Forest is burning. What will you do, Arshab or Sitaram, or what will you do? How do you put out the fire? What means can we apply? No answers? Yeah, the forest fires. Okay, there's no answers. You cannot. And generally, the government will take helicopters and then put water from the roof, or somebody will take a hose pipe and then put water everywhere. but that is insignificant. We cannot stop the fire because of that. So only thing what we can do is we have to wait for the rain to come. Right now in Bangalore it is raining heavily. So if without these earphones, I cannot hear because huge sound coming around. But the lesson is when it rains on the forest fire, and immediately all the fire is extinguished. So this is the best way to stop the forest fire. Similarly, in our life, there are a lot of sufferings. How to stop these sufferings in our life? So Guru is like that rain cloud who brings the rain and showers on our life. The cloud gets the water from the ocean. So Krishna is like the ocean, and from that ocean, the cloud takes the water and goes to a particular place and then pours down the rain and then extinguishes the forest fire. Similarly, Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatvam. Ghana Ghanatvam means the rain. So when it rains, our sufferings are extinguished. And that rain, Guru is getting from Krishna. Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnamasya. So Guna Arnava. Arnava means ocean. So Arnava is Krishna, from whom Guru is getting the water and is throwing everywhere by his preaching. And what is the rain compared to? That is Hare Krishna mantra. So when you start chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, then we can easily overcome the sufferings in our life and become Krishna conscious. So that's the meaning of this shloka. So this is one shloka, but there are 8 like this. But I'll just tell in brief what is the meaning of that. The first one I explained in detail. Basically, second shloka tells the activities of Guru. And Guru does kirtan, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita. Sometimes he does kirtan, sometimes he dances in joy, sometimes he sings Gita, Vaditra Madhyan, sometimes he plays instruments and relishes, Manaso Rasena. And Romanchakampa Shrutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. And in ecstasy, sometimes his body trembles and hairs stand on end because of love for Krishna. That is shloka 2. Third shloka says that how he is doing deity worship. So third shloka tells about Vigraha Kripa. Sri Vigraha Aradhana. He engages in worshipping the deity in the temple, and he also engages others, his disciples, in the services in the temple. What service he does? Shringara, he dresses the Lord. Tan Mandira Marjanado, he cleanses the temple. So he does, and he engages his disciples. Yuktasya Bhaktamscha Niyunjatopi. So he engages his bhaktas also in the service of Krishna. That is third shloka. The fourth shloka tells about prasad, mercy. There are 4 kinds of prasad. Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasad. 4 kinds of prasad. That which can be licked, that which is sucked like mango, that which is chewed like chapatis, and that which is swallowed. So these 4 kinds of foodstuffs are offered to Krishna, and the Guru offers it and then distributes to everyone. Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swad Anna Triptan Haribhakta Sangha. Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanara. So when Guru gives prasad to others, he feels joy. Generally, we feel joy in eating, but actually Guru feels joy in distributing prasadam. So that is the speciality of Guru. So this is called Prasad Kripa. And fifth one is Radha Krishna Yugala Kripa. Here it says that Guru is constantly remembering Radha and Krishna in his mind. Sri Radhika Madhavayor Apara. So Krishna's another name is Madhava also. Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namnam Pratikshana Aswadana Lolupasya. Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. So Guru is constantly remembering the pastimes of Radha and Madhava in his heart and is constantly relishing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Who is Radha Krishna? Krishna is our eternal father and Radharani is our eternal mother. So we should serve and remember Radha and Krishna daily. So that's what Guru is teaching. And sixth verse tells about seva to the gopis. Guru is expert in doing service to the gopis. निकुञ्जयोनो रतिकेलि सिद्ध यायालिभिरुत्तरपेक्षणीय तत्रातिदाक्षात् अतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविंद. So he does various arrangements for gopis to serve Krishna. He is very expert in that. He is a Daksha, very expert in service to Krishna. That's what 6th shloka says. And 7th shloka says that Guru should be treated as good as Lord. Guru is not Krishna, Guru is not God, but Guru should be treated like God. साक्षात् हरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे रुक्तस्तथा भाव्यते एव सद्भिः किन्तु प्रभोर्य प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. Sakshat Hari, one should worship Guru like God, but not as God. Just like if a government official comes to your home, you treat him like the government. You give him high respect because he is representing the government. Similarly, Guru is representing Krishna, so we treat him on par with Krishna because he is very dear to Krishna. And the last shloka says, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadan nagati kutopi dhyayam stuvam tasya shastri sandhyam vande guru shri charanarvinda. So Guru is very dear to Krishna. So when you please Guru by service, Krishna becomes pleased. Like if Guru says, please chant Hare Krishna, and you chant Hare Krishna, then Krishna becomes happy. Hey, they are following the instructions of Guru, and he will bless us. So that's why Guru should be pleased, and through Guru we should approach Krishna. So here one should remember Guru 3 times: morning, afternoon, and evening. So here in ISKCON we remember Srila Prabhupada, who is a preeminent Guru. So morning, afternoon, evening we worship him and we seek blessings from him for our spiritual advancement. Okay, this is how this Guru Ashtakam is sung in ISKCON in all the temples. It is standard. Any temple of ISKCON you go, first Aarati in the morning, this song is sung. Okay. So, could you able to follow the explanation which I did about Guru Ashtakam? If it is clear, please type yes or say hi, and then we'll go to another prayer that is very beautiful. Okay, thank you, Arshab. Others. So then after Guru Ashtakam, we sing another prayer which is called Narsimha prayer. Namaste Nara Simhaya. Yeah. Because Lord Narsimha is a protector of devotees. You see Narsimha very ferocious and he tears apart Hiranyakashipu and protects Prahlad Maharaj. So this Narsimha Dev is protector of devotees. So once when there was a risk for the temples, Srila Prabhupada said that all the temples can start doing prayers to Lord Narsimha. And after doing prayers to Narsimha, a lot of problems reduced and there was peace in the society. So Narsimha Dev worshipped in ISKCON every day. In our temple also we have Narsimha Dev. So the prayer goes like this: Namaste Narsimhaya Prahalad Ahladadayine Hiranyakashvipur Vakshaha Shilatankanakalaya. Right? I offer my obeisance to Narsimha Dev, who gives joy to Prahlad and whose nails are like chisels on the stone like chest of demon Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu's chest was like stone, but Lord Narsimha very easily tore it. Right? Ito Narsimha, Parato Narsimha, Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. Wherever I see, I'm seeing only Narsimha Dev. Here, inside, outside, everywhere he is there. Bahir Narsimha, Hrudaya Narsimha. Narsimha is outside me and is inside me also. Narsimham Adim Sharanam Prapade. I offer of obeisances to Narsimha Dev, who is the beginning of everything. So that's the meaning of this song. Right. So then, Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bhringam Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. This also we sing in the morning, where it says that Lord Narsimha's hands are soft like lotus petal, but his nails are like Vajra, very sharp. And he killed Hiranyakashipu just like a child kills an insect, like a mosquito. So Keshava, who has appeared as Narahari, I offer my obeisances to him. So that's the meaning of the song. So we sing Guru Ashtakam, prayer to Guru. Then we sing Narsimha Arti. Then we do a small prayer to Tulsi Devi. Because Tulsi Devi is very dear to Krishna. We do Tulsi Pradakshina and we offer water to Tulsi and do namaskar to her and pray that kindly give us your mercy so that we can get Krishna. So this is a simple morning program we do here in temple every day. So by doing this in the morning, what happens? And this takes maybe in temple it takes about half an hour. But if you do it in home in short, it can take less minutes time, like 15 minutes. So you can sing all the prayers and you can participate. Or if you are interested, you can join us on Facebook tomorrow morning. Right? Every Sunday morning we put this darshan on our Facebook. We will send the link to you on WhatsApp group. So tomorrow morning it will be live. So if you can sleep early today by maybe like 10 o'clock or so, you can get up early by 4:30. Then you can watch the darshan arti, morning arti, Mangal arti at 5 o'clock, which will be live on the Facebook. So like that, the first day you can take experience of how it happens in temple, and later on you can do it at your homes also on a daily basis, right? So you can do worship Krishna while singing Guru Ashtakam, and you can worship Narsimha while singing Narsimha. And I think most of the homes have Tulsi in their homes. You can take some fresh water and water Tulsi and do Pradakshina. And by doing Pradakshina, it is said that many sins which we have done in the past will be destroyed just by doing Pradakshina and offering pranams to Tulsi Maharani. So these are the activities we should do in the morning, and then chant Hare Krishna. Right? 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, whatever you're comfortable with. In that way you can chant. Right? Many of the people from the first batch, they come in the morning for Zoom chanting, and they join with all of us and chant. Some stay for half an hour, some stay for 1 hour, it depending upon their timing and their capacity. They stay with us for chanting and then they take leave. So in that way you can also participate in that morning program. So today I gave just brief introduction of what is importance of Brahma Muhurta. I shared some 5-6 points about that, and then I told you what happens in a typical ISKCON temple in the morning during Brahma Muhurta. So we can all also participate in this activities. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question regarding what we discussed today? Yes. Reading Brahma Muhurta and morning program. Then you can feel free to ask. Okay, Ashok says no question. Sitaram says no question. Right. Do others have any question? Jai Chandrasekhar, thank you for coming. Gunjan and Vaishali Mataji, do you have anything to say? Any questions or comments?
No, Prabhuji.
No? Okay. Fine. So just wait for a minute. Our volunteer is in Temple Hall and he'll be showing darshan live. Today's darshan for 2 minutes. Okay. And tomorrow morning, all of you are welcome. You can join us on Zoom, Mangalarti at 5 o'clock, and also Zoom chanting with devotees as per your convenience. There is no compulsion, but as per your convenience, you can join. Okay. And from next week onwards, which is coming week, instead of daily sessions, we'll be having sessions on Friday and Saturday for 2 days. Okay. And that will be like the first batch also has completed what your topic you have completed. So we'll be combining both. So your batch as well as the previous batch, both will be having common program from next Friday onwards. So Friday and Saturday, every week, 2 days, we'll have sessions. And on Sunday, you can if you wish, you can attend Prerna program, or if you have some friends who are interested to know more, then you can connect them to Prerna program. So Prerna program is the best program where we can connect new people. And if they find it interesting, then they can join our online Gita course, which is starting from Monday. So Monday we are starting another online Gita course. So if some of your friends or relatives are interested, you can make them join that group. So then they can also get benefit of this. Okay. So shall we chant one round now, Hare Krishna mantra? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, we'll chant one round. And meanwhile, Darshan will also go on. You can parallelly watch the Lord and chant Hare Krishna. I'll just get my beads. So this is the beads, and generally we chant on beads to make chanting more effective. So all of you can try to remove all the thoughts from your mind. No worries, no anxieties. So imagine that you are sitting very peacefully in front of all the devotees as if we are together, and then just try to hear the sound of Hare Krishna mantra and chant it properly and hear it attentively. Okay, and just don't worry if mind goes here and there. Try to again bring it back and focus on chanting. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे